So, excuse me, good start. Hi, my name's Michelle, and this is my channel. As you can see by looking at the playlist, I have very random things on there. One from 9 years ago, and the rest from more recently. Mostly they've been tests, just to have them on there. As it says, random things at random times. However, this video is an introduction to a longer form vlog series. It's a review show. Okay, so I'm not very good at this. We're going to learn together. It's going to be fun. Stick with it, kids. Okay, so what is it about? As I say, I'm Michelle. I'm going to call this Pheonix Reviews because that's who I am everywhere. And what are we reviewing? Movies, because everyone reviews movies. So where's my shtick? Where am I different to everyone else? In the list of movies that I'm going to record and talk about, which are the Empire Top 500 movies, as voted for by 10,000 Empire readers, 150 Hollywood finest, and 50 key film critics. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Empire is a British film magazine published monthly since July of 1989. It's the biggest selling film magazine in the United Kingdom and also published in the United States, Australia, Turkey, Russia, Italy and Portugal. So yeah, quite a large catchment area. And as I said, over 10,200 people have voted for this list, which was published in 2008. It is, according to my notes, the most ambitious movie poll ever attempted to date. How ambitious? The earliest dated movie on this list is Greed from 1924 by Erich von Stroheim, and the most recent film on the list is the 2008 Iron Man movie. That is quite a range of movies. Interestingly, on the Downey Jr. subject, it has got Charlie Chaplin movies on the list. It does not have Chaplin, which is kind of sad because I like that film. Yeah, it's a good film. But what is on the list? Well, a bit of everything. We've got Hollywood, Bollywood and beyond, live action animation, horror to comedy, musicals to melodrama, exploitation to art house, and a little bit everything in between. Sorry I keep looking down, that's where my notes are. Okay, we got directors from Spielberg to Tarantino, Fritz Lang to Akira Kurosawa, and Richard Donner to Bryan Singer. Geek points for getting that joke, and I just knocked my box. Sorry. So yeah, everything in this list. For me, personally, it kind of breaks down to two types of movie. Ones I've seen already, which I can watch again and talk about as and when we go along, and the ones that I haven't seen. Multiple reasons why I haven't seen them. One, they are films that I haven't heard of before, and since there are a lot of foreign language movies on the list, since there are a lot of foreign language movies on this list, that isn't a surprise. Films that I was aware of but just simply hadn't been bothered with. Films that have been on my list and I've probably even own a copy that I just haven't gotten around to yet. And there are some films that I've kind of actively been avoiding. Yeah, because if they're action films or just like a lot of early 80s action schlock I haven't seen because it wasn't appealing to me at the time. But because it's on my list, I will make an effort to sit down, watch it, and then I will give you my opinion on it. Now, here's the fun part. It will be my opinion. There's at least one film on this list that I already know I'm not a huge fan of, because it is one of two movies that I have ever turned off partway through watching it. I will talk about that film when we get to it. Excuse me for playing my hair. But yeah, so I've turned it off partway through because I was like, we're like hours in, an hour into it, I don't know who I'm supposed to be following, what's supposed to be going on, but it's on the list. Which means I will get to it at some point, we will talk about it then. There is another film that I had turned off partway through, again I'll talk about it when we get to it, but that was when I was watching it last year, which is 2016, which is a horrible year, and as I was watching it, that's when I discovered, well, the news came through about the death of one young Anton Yelchin, which made me really kind of sad, and I'm like, yeah, we're done with movies for now. So that one I'm looking forward to getting back to. So 2 films, one I turned off deliberately because it was kind of boring to me, the other one I turned off deliberately because some bad news came through, and I was like, I don't want to sit and watch frivolous movies right now when a young man has died in a horrible, horrible way. So that's that. Okay. Spoilers. Here's the fun part. Now, as I said, the list is published as of 2008, which means, excuse me, a lot of the films on the list have been out for a very long time. You know, what we're talking now, God, yeah, nearly 10 years for the youngest film on that list. However, as I said before, there are a lot of foreign language movies on this list, and films that I hadn't heard of before. So here is the spoiler policy. If it's a huge, big blockbuster movie that you're more likely to have seen yourself and possibly seen before I have, spoilers be damned. If it's a more obscure title, or if it's a mystery type film where there's a bit of a twist or something in it that I think is interesting and don't necessarily want to spoil if you haven't seen it, then I'll be more spoiler careful on those. What I will do for all of them is probably do a quick, maybe 5-minute spoiler-free, talking about it, say, okay, this is the film I just watched, here's my initial thoughts, and then like quick synopsis perhaps, if that helps, and then there'll be that, and then anything after that will be spoilers. And unless, of course, it's, like I say, there's a big twist, or like, it's a murder mystery or something where, look at my hands, they're dancing. If it's something I don't want to, if I wouldn't want it spoiled for myself, then I'll try not to spoil it for you guys. But as a rule, most of the, like I said, the youngest film on his film on this list is 9 years old now, so if you haven't seen it, it's not necessarily my fault. I do have a rule, and that is that I want to physically own a copy of the movie. I did have an idea previously that I might actually review the DVD special features. I don't know if that's something I'm going to do with this thing. I might have a look. If there's something particularly interesting, like, well, I'm not the Marvel one-shots, but I'm probably not going to be talking about them beyond Iron Man anyway. But if there's a particularly interesting or amusing special feature on the DVD that I happen to have a copy of, then I might talk about that. But as a rule, I want to own it. There are exceptions to that. If it's in the public domain and I can't get it any other way, then yeah, I'm going to be watching it online. I recently got on Amazon Prime, so I might double check the list, compare it to that, and see if there's anything that's available there, so I can just watch it that way, and it'll still be a legal watch. But yeah, I'm trying to avoid the whole, I don't like pirating. My dad does that, I don't like it. I like to have the proper copy of something, because I think it's nice to own it, especially these days when everything's digital, and people will have a digital library, and it's like, well, that's cool, that's fine if you want to sort of take it with you. I actually have a lot of ebooks, but I also have a lot of books because they're nice to have and hold and read. And same with DVDs, especially with things like Amazon, with Netflix and any other subscription site, they tend to go away. They have a catalogue and then they rotate out, and then they've got a new catalogue, which is fair enough, it's how you keep your business going. But then if the film that you've been watching over and over again suddenly disappears, then you're gonna end up having to get a hold of it another way. So yeah, buying the DVDs, much more fun, and that is my policy. I'd like to own physically the DVDs. Okay, next thought. Sequels. There are quite a few films on this list that are a part of a franchise. Best examples are Star Wars and Harry Potter. Now, for the sake of Star Wars, I'm only going to do the first 6 movies. That isn't to say I won't necessarily talk about Force Awakens and beyond at a later point, depending on how I'm feeling, but for the purposes of this initial run, it will be the original 6. Now, it is a list of 500 movies. However, I think it's Clone Wars is the only one that's not on the list. In that instance, I will probably still watch Clone Wars and talk about it as its own separate review. With regard to, for example, the Harry Potter movies, only 1 out of the 8 movies is on the list. In that instance, I will talk about that one, Prisoner of Azkaban. I will talk about that as a full review, but I will have maybe another separate video talking about the first 2 movies, and then maybe something after it saying what I thought of the other ones, going on from that. Whether or not I revisit and do like a Harry Potter review overall of all the movies, I don't know, maybe at some future point I'll decide, maybe for an anniversary. Excuse me. I'll do that. But that's not a thing. So if the film sequels, say, I think all of Godfather's on there. But if, for example, there's more of the films on the list than there are off the list, I'll give them each a separate review. If it's like 1 out of 4 or 5 that's on the list, then I'll review that one movie that's on the list and then just talk about the others briefly. Because otherwise we could be here all even longer than we are. And that'll get a bit silly. Because if I'm going to do that, I might as well do a whole retrospective series on it, and there are other people doing that already. It's like with Superman. Speaking of retrospectives. Superman, I think the first Donner movie's on the list. I'll have to double check. Yeah, I think it is. In that instance, I'll probably talk about the first 2 as their own separate reviews. And anything beyond that, I don't know. If it's on the list, I can't remember if Returns is on the list. I'll look that up later. But, so those 2 for definite I'll probably talk about, because I'm pretty sure the first one's on there. As for the follow-ons, probably not. Maybe talk a little bit about them afterwards, but not necessary. So that's my policy on for sequels and franchises, is depending on how many are on the list, depends on how many I talk about as separate reviews. But as a collection, I'll probably still talk about them in some way. Because, it'd be interesting. It'd be fun to do. Oh, excuse me. There are some of the films on this list actually constitute shorts. There are a couple of Disney animations, I think a couple of Warner Brothers animations, that are maybe half an hour things rather than full feature-length movies. I don't know if I can do those as their own shorty reviews, or have them as a thing. Maybe if there's a couple of Disney things, I'll do them as a Disney shorts review and then a Warner Brothers shorts review. Let's see how I feel when I get there. Excuse me. Okay, so shorts, franchises, spoiler policy. See, kids, this is where you take notes. Formatting. Okay. So here is how I am doing this. Right now, I am talking to my phone. And then, as soon as I've done that, I'm going to upload it straight away. This is complete, no budget filmmaking. I'm going to point the camera at my face, I'm going to talk about the film, and then I'm going to upload it. At some point, once I hit my subscription numbers, hello lovely subscribers, I will be able to, through my phone. Originally I thought it'd be kind of fun to do this live immediately. Turns out that the phone app will only let you do that once you hit over 100 subscribers. Not an unreasonable number. Once I hit that number, I will more than likely be doing this live, which will be a bit scary, but it does mean that I am just recording it and it's out there. Why am I doing it like this? Because this is an idea that has been sitting with me for years. I mean, about at least 5 years. Certainly since I've been aware of Channel Awesome. And I'm not trying to emulate anyone from Channel Awesome, I'm not, I'm just doing me. But I'm like, oh, okay, so I need to learn to edit, and then to learn to edit would be a part of a full-time course. The one I saw, maybe there are other courses out there, but if it's online, it's no good for me because I'm better with someone showing me how to do it and give me examples. And as I need to work, because bills to pay, adulting! So because I actually need to work, I can't dedicate a full-time course to college. So, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can do it as pure audio. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I can never get myself motivated. So I'm thinking, this is the best method for me. Sit myself down in front of a camera, babble at it for however long it turns out to be. I'm going to try and keep these, well, this one's already hit 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and keep them under half an hour. Might be longer, might be less, but about 15 to half an hour I think might be good length. Seems to be a common length of most reviews. So that's why I'm doing it like this way. So in terms of going live when that happens, I might send out a tweet, especially if my followers, if I get a number of followers. This is my Twitter. I might send out a tweet and say, hey, I'm going to do a live thing. As you can hear, I am British. I am a British person living in England, so it will, all times will be GMT. If I end up with more American subscribers or other, you know, Canadian, Australian, wherever people come from, however you find me, awesome, I welcome you. But however people find me from wherever they happen to be, all times will be local, which means I may still end up talking to my phone on my own, even in the live broadcasting, because that's the nature of the beast. But again, with the live broadcast, it will go straight up. I don't think about it, I'm not worrying about it, I'm staying outside my own head, and it's all good. Inspiration for doing it this way? Just that, really, just as a way of doing it. I do want to give a quick shout out now to my very good friend Erin Mills, who has kind of inspired me and been very supportive in the first instance of doing this. In fact, he's probably going to be the first person watching this video, so hey babe. You are more likely finding me, excuse me, reframe that. You're probably in this initial video watching this because he's recommended it, and for that I thank you. If you are discovering me at a later point, because I'm going on the theory that, you know, all these videos are going to be titled like E500 film review, whichever number it is in the list, and then the title, or maybe put the title first, E500 Pheonix Reviews. But that is where I think the catch is going to come in. The film title is going to be there, which means if you're looking for that film for whatever reason, then hopefully it should appear on the list at some point, some way, and then you'll find me like that. So however you find me, cool, you are all welcome. And if you're watching this video in the future, hey, thank you. You know, I hope this isn't too weird or disappointing. Excuse me. So that's that. Scheduling. As often as possible. And if, for those of you who've already done the maths, 500 movies, even if I do it once a week, is 10 years. If I'm doing more than the 500 with regards to sequels and franchising, that's going to take even longer. So, how's this going to work? I'm going to pick the movie, and I've already picked my first movie, and I will talk about the reasons for that in that review. But yeah, it's going to be as and when I decide to do it, which might be at least once or twice a week. My partner has recently changed, well, should be changing his work hours, which means I'll be able to record and do stuff without disturbing him or being disturbed by him. So, you know, that's just, excuse me, that's just nice. Yeah, so the schedule will be as often as possible. Language. Okay, I swear. I like swearing. Swearing's fucking brilliant. But as a rule, I'm going to try not to swear in these reviews. I'm not too bothered about keeping it necessarily family friendly because, like I said, there are horror movies on this list, and well, just talking about this, there's not going to be clips or anything, so the kids can probably still watch it. But it wouldn't necessarily. There would be, at some points, there are probably going to be adult subjects. So that's, you know, discretionary. But as for swearing, really going to keep it to a minimum. Like I said, swearing can be fun, but as a rule, I don't tend to. So if there's a film that has particularly excited me for whatever reason or angered me, then we might bring out the swearing. And the swearing does include all the words, including the C word. I I like it. I think it's fun. I'm not going to use it right now because I like to say, precision. I think TV Tropes calls it precision F-bomb. You know, I say fuck a lot, so the C word be a bit precision C bomb, because then it'll be fun, and that's when you know I'll mean it. Yeah. So swearing, scheduling, spoiler policy. I think we've covered everything. Now let me show you something kind of cool. Hello, we're going to look around my room now. These are my comic book movie things. These are my Sherlock Holmes DVDs. This is my really cool feminist troll hat. There we go. And if you know what that means, you're awesome. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but you are awesome if you know what it already means. This is the collection. As I say, I like owning the DVDs. I have a hell of a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays. That is my partner's Star Wars collection. Now this is actually kind of cool. This is, like I said, we're going to be talking about Star Wars as and when I decide to do it. But I actually have this, which I think is even cooler. And yes, I'm using cool in a very subjective way. But check these babies out. Oh yeah! Hang on, other way around. These are the VHSs of the thing. THX digitally mastered, but not. And let me just get one out for you. Not remastered. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Pretty sure there's the original Star Wars available for the last time. The original Star Wars, not the remastered, not the digitally remastered. I think it's cleaned up for the purpose of this release, but it's the original one. These are what I'm going to be reviewing. Not these, but these. The original VHS copies of the Star Wars trilogy. So that'll be fun. I have seen the remastered, the digitally remastered ones. They're not terrible. I mean, they're still the film. I think, honestly, the only thing I have a big problem with is Hayden Christensen at the end of the last one, because it doesn't quite make sense. He died as an adult, and how would Luke recognise him as a child? So that's those, that's them. Over here, I'm saying about Disney shorts. Here is my, there we go, get a bit of light on that. My Disney DVD collection, which, as you can see, is quite insane. Ooh, spooky now. Let's get that, that's better. When it comes to reviews off the list, again, we're talking discretionary. There may be a point where I may just decide to review a film just because I've just watched it. Again, that'll be interesting. But my primary focus is, look at that. Look at that. Look at all that. My primary focus is the Empire Top 500 and any sequels that may not necessarily be on the list, but I still want to talk about other videos on this channel because it's my channel. Again, what I want to do. My channel, my rules. I'm just gonna have fun with it. Again, once I get to having enough subscribers to go live, I may get the urge to just whip out my camera and talk about whatever's on my mind. Look forward to that. But the main focus is going to be... Shut up, Homer. The main focus is going to be this review series of a whole lot of movies that I don't even know yet. How am I going to work it for selection? I know what the first review is going to be. I think I know what the reviews after that is going to be. I want to start with a film I know have seen before, and then I'm going to go to a film that I haven't seen before. Probably an English language movie. Then, just because I happen to have it, I might go to a foreign language movie. I recently bought a copy of Amelie, which is on the list, and that's a film I've been wanting to look at for a little while because it looks cute actually. It looks really sweet and funny, and it always has consistently good reviews. So probably going to be doing that first, and then I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't decided how I'm going to decide yet. Either what film I happen to be in the mood for. I have dice that I can roll. Actually, I've got a better set than that. Roll the dice randomly, the selection. I might just stick a pin in the list and see what comes out. But if I own it first, so that's how that's going to work. But I think I've covered everything now. So we've talked about what I'm doing, the Empire Top 500. We've talked about how often I'm going to do it, whenever I feel like it, when I got a chance to watch the movie without being disturbed. Spoilers, be damned, unless it's a particularly twisty or obscure film. It covers a lot. I'm going to cover a lot. Follow me on Twitter! There I am. See, this is how low budget I am. Any title cards I have to write down. But yes, and that is the correct spelling. That is how I find it, how I spell it. So that is where you can find me online. I don't do Facebook. I have emails, but that's a different... I'm not sure why you want to email me. I had a Snapchat for a little while, but I got bored with it. So yeah, that's how to get hold of me, is on Twitter if you wanted to, or comments below. Then yes, it is no budget. Yes, the lighting is what the lighting is. Yes, the background is a bit busy. Oh, that guitar? Yeah, I painted that. Okay, so for those who have been, thank you for watching, for listening, and for those that you're planning to, yeah, let's stick with it. Let's take this journey together and see where it goes, and let's have fun with it, because this has been fun. True confession, this is the second time that I've recorded this. The first time it didn't record. My bad. So it's taken me a little while to get back into the mood to do it. But this has been fun. I've been doing it, and I'm talking, and I've been consistent, and I know there's been ums and ahs, and I've tripped over some words. That is something I'll work on, but that will come with the confidence of doing this on the regular. So yes, it is rough and ready. That is the style I've chosen to do it in. So if you want to make that criticism, it's redundant. I'm not going to ban you because that'd be silly, but it is what it is. This is my flat. This is my review show. This is my red hoodie that I stole from my boyfriend. And this is me, Michelle, at Pheonix11, signing off for now. Thumbnail pose!